Hi, welcome back to Full House Games. You're joining us for round 5. I am Caleb, and joining me is Jonathan Winter.
Hi.
And we are watching the matchup between Jim, who is running Fat Zoo, and Matt, who's running Scapeshift.
Tizzle's my good friend, and he was asking me about what to play.
Tizzle's being Matt? Or...
Matt Tizzle,
Okay,
yeah.
alright.
Sorry, and he was asking me what I thought he should play, and I said, I think out of the blue, if you know how to play Magic a bit, I would say play Gifts or Scapeshift, and he decided Scapeshift was the deck for him. So
yeah, Scapeshift seems like a very powerful deck at the moment, and it indeed seems like a lot of people have picked up on that with 3 of our matches so far featuring Scapeshift.
Yeah, it's one of it's actually I think it's the only combo deck which doesn't have any creatures for the opponent to interact with. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it is the combo deck you want to play to completely blank your opponent's removal spells, because even with Storm, Electromancer.
Yeah, you're not typically casting Electromancer and then going off. You need to.
Yes. So yeah, if you're expecting a metagame where
removal is
people are going to be slinging removal spells at each other's creatures because it's all mid-rangey, then Scapeshift is going to dominate that metagame. So
yeah, absolutely.
And I think a lot of people figured that would be the case, so that's why we're seeing so much of it.
Yeah, which is interesting because we haven't seen any Scapeshift v Scapeshift games here, but it all comes down to what kind of good or bad matchups you get in the eventuality. Like, I don't think Affinity is a very good matchup against Scapeshift, but
no, I think
other creature matches are probably a lot better for Scapeshift.
Yes,
but Affinity is probably a bit too quick.
Yeah, it's too quick for that turn 7 or turn 6, turn 7 that Scapeshift kind of usually goes off on.
Absolutely.
I think Affinity also has Vault Scourge to gain life. So.
Yes, this is true. So they'll lose maybe 1 or 2 life. 2 life at the start just to cast the Vault Scourge, maybe 4 life if they want to cast the second one. But they're usually going to gain a lot more before you end up actually getting on board and looking at dealing a lot of damage with them.
Yeah. So we've got a mulligan first up from Matt.
That does hurt Matt a bit, but look, Fat Zoo for Jim here, does mean that it does in fact translate to Tarmo Twin. So we are looking at two sort of combo decks.
It is Tarmo Twin, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to the Canberra players who were playing Fat Zoo, as it was called.
Okay.
So not necessarily Zoo, but it is a creature sort of based deck, and you do just want to drop a Tarmogoyf or drop a one of your untapped cards. And go off. And you really have to respect that as the Scapeshift player here.
Yeah.
You can't just let them play it.
Yeah, well, Tarmo Twin it's a tempo combo deck. It's a kind of a weird hybrid.
Yeah,
I actually think it's a little bit overrated.
Yeah.
When a deck gets pulled in 2 different directions, as a Brew purist, I don't like that.
Okay.
It's certainly a powerful deck, and Tarmogoyf is a terrific backup plan. Yeah, so it's a good deck.
Yeah.
If I was playing Splinter Twin, I think I would definitely go the straight pure blue-red version.
And you want the more control.
And maybe lose more, but it's still a purer deck. So.
All right, sure. Wow. All right. You got to be worried that maybe he's playing Storm here.
Yeah, I would
going
totally
off.
think he's
That is...
I would think he's on Storm and be grateful that he's burning through the Serum Vision, so it's less likely he'll turn on the Pyromancer.
Yeah. That's a great start for Storm there. If you just go Serum Visions into Pyromancer's Serum Vision. You're online. And,
so Jim's already played a lot of Magic by turn 2. And
yep. Yeah, look at that. 4 cards in the graveyard, and Matt's thinking about what his first card to play is. This seems like it might be a more basic version of Scapeshift.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything too fancy about it. It was...
He hasn't. Maybe he's just not hit his lands on at the start of the game.
Looks like Jim does not like having the dice representing Tarmogoyf's current power. In a high level event, it is incorrect to do that because dice do represent +1/+1 counters typically. So
yeah, okay. I can see why. I mean, it's probably a little bit easier than having to ask every single time, but
it also gives you the chance to you can insist on that, and then you've got a better chance. There's a more likely chance that your opponent will misplay around Tarmogoyf because he's not keeping, because it is a responsibility of both players to
absolutely
keep tabs on the size of Tarmogoyf.
So you're hoping, like by doing that, you're sort of hoping for a communication policy violation.
If you're playing against Tarmogoyf and your opponent refuses to have that kind of using the dice to keep a track of its size, then you should make sure to communicate verbally with your opponent frequently so that you both know exactly how big it is. So you just got to simply say, is Tarmogoyf this size? And your opponent, I believe, is not allowed to lie to you at that point.
They can't. If you ask how big Tarmogoyf is, they do have to.
So you just work it out together, and just always communicate verbally so that you don't make mistakes like that.
You may be hoping for a repeal here on Goyf after seeing, say...
If he's got a repeal, then that's...
Splinter Twin come down, and then you maybe repeal it in response.
Yeah.
That'd be a fantastic play here.
Yeah.
It does, however, put an enchantment in the graveyard. That is one thing I like about this deck. You do typically get enchantment into the graveyard, which then helps boost those Goyfs a lot more. So that is something that I do like to see.
Yes, giant Goyfs.
Yeah.
So the old
Electrolyze to the face for 2 damage.
Which is important if he's still on 20.
Yeah, because I mean it shortens your clock by 1.
Yeah. 1
extra land. So that's typically 1 extra turn, and facing 2 rather large Goyfs here, that could be relevant. So there's the Valakut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he needs 1 more turn to go off. And Jim, not having his combo, has to respect that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Matt has to respect that. Jim
Do we know if he has
his
a
combo.
Scapeshift yet?
I don't. I haven't actually seen it.
Top bottom, so that's a bit of a tell. He would be going bottom if he did not have Scapeshift in hand or on the top of his deck. So
Right.
I think he probably does have the Scapeshift.
Yeah, so you think he's either drawing that Scapeshift or drawing some control?
Although he did, it looks like he did a double Serum Vision, so that's I like how you can, with a Scry, put top bottom and then use the next Serum Vision to guarantee a live draw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you Scry again. You got to think he's got it by now. He's done a lot of sculpting, so it's just going to be a question of who's going to have the most counter spells on the stack.
I'm really hoping for a repeal here to take care of one of those Goyfs.
Oh, no such luck?
No? Alright. Fine, don't entertain me. So, if Matt draws a green land here, he's live? Is that it?
Does he not have double green? I'm not sure.
He only has the one. There it is. There's the green. And
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 left over. He's going for it. He's got a Valakut on the table, so I don't know if that means...
it means he can fetch less.
So Remand from Jim. And we've got 3 mana in Matt's pool, so is he going to...
I think if you have your own remand, you remand yourself here.
You target your own Scapeshift.
Yes, and that counters his... Okay, no,
the question is, did he target the...
Alright,
well, I mean, is he just dead now? I don't know how big those Tarmo are.
Yeah, okay, yes, he is, yeah.
Yeah,
so probably just hoping for a repeal there. Oh, sorry, not a repeal, a
Swan Song.
Spell Pierce, Swan Song, anything,
Yes.
yeah. So, like, that's the power behind adding Goyf, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just such a powerful card that
Yeah.
it seems to fit so well into Modern.
It's the best blue card in the format.
Goyf.
Well, that's usually what they're saying. It is in Legacy, Rug Delver.
Yeah, it's so strong. Rug Delver, Bug Delver. I'm pretty sure you could run mono green and just have Goyf and it'd still be pretty powerful.
Give me fetch lands and maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, you just run a bunch of fetch lands. It's called elves, right?
Yeah.
Tarmo Goyf in your elf deck. That seems powerful enough.
So it's going to be a question of Swan Songs, Counterflux.
Yeah, you definitely want Counterflux. Swan Song's good here because it deals with the combo piece that Jim has as well in the form of Splinter Twin.
I think
if you have repeals, you definitely want them because
it's possible Matt is running a Batterskull from the sideboard because I do know Matt loves him some Batterskull action.
Who doesn't? And I mean, it's often that you have
this
a lot
this
of
could be a match you
mana
bring it
deck.
in, against Goyfs and things like that.
Right. The difficulty in that though is you have to respect the combo of
but because it's not straight twin
Pestamite done.
You kind of have to treat it
a
little bit more as a grindy kind of match.
This is true.
But I mean, I do think Tarmo Twin is obviously a less potent combo deck.
Mm-hmm.
But it means, but what it does do is it puts your opponent in a tricky spot where they don't know what they have to play around.
Right, and
if your opponent has information of your hand, of what your hand is, that's a different story. So
this is true. So Peak, not a card that is often seen, but could be relevant if you've got them here. Yeah. It's sort of like the blue Thoughtseize. You get to draw a card instead of them losing one. And an instant speed too, so you get to see their whole hand, like what they draw as well. But I do agree. You sort of need to know, without the availability of seeing what's in Jim's hand, Matt has a sort of downside as to whether or not
he's got to decide whether he's going to play around everything that's going on in the rug deck.
Yeah.
Or if he just only respects the combo, or if he just doesn't care and just simply tries to go off, ignoring everything on the other side of the table. So
that's fair.
But that's probably his best plan, just
going off.
Yeah.
Okay.
That game one, he was unlucky to be facing 2 Goyfs.
That's
it kind of forced his hand a little bit.
I suppose Jim did get a triple.
I wonder if
I
wonder if Matt has something like a Threads of Disloyalty as well.
Ooh, that'd be nice. Take your Goyf and go
I'll do the Goyf plan.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Is it power 3 or less, or power or
it's mana
less
cost,
than 3?
converted mana
Sorry,
cost. 2.
So it has to be
2 or
converted
less.
mana cost 2 or less.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. I like it. Yeah, just take your Goyf and
but it's not great because look,
best answer to a Goyf is another Goyf.
if he draws the twin half of the deck, then it's a dead card in your hand. So I think it's something you don't want to sideboard into this match.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, and that's one of the hardest parts of this matchup.
So he's definitely bringing in some number of swan songs and maybe spell. What do they call it? Dispels.
Spell pierce?
No, dispel.
Oh, dispel. Yeah.
Anything other than that is pure speculation, I think.
Absolutely.
In terms of twin, I don't know what they bring in. They probably bring in counterflux.
Yeah, I think both players have to bring in counterflux if they've got it. Twin probably brings in... Probably takes out some more of the twin combo.
Might have Sunning Salt as well.
Okay, that'd be good, yeah. Take out, like if they play a mountain, destroy and take out one of their mountains.
I think it's a non-basic land.
Sorry,
yeah.
I mean like Stomping Ground,
Yeah.
they play that then, yeah. I like it, yeah.
And there's always a possibility of just stone colding your opponent by taking down Delicate with it. So.
Yeah, if you get lucky enough. That's certainly a way to win. Then maybe they have to hit the Baloths or an Inferno Titan if you're Nick.
Yeah.
I really like Inferno Titan as a card.
No.
It's sort of
It's
a miniature.
definitely
like,
a
I ran it
spicy
one in my my sneaky welder deck.
Yeah.
Because it's like 12 damage if it's unanswered.
Yeah.
But it's also a great way just to take out creatures.
Yeah.
With 3 damage a turn, either to your face or to 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Especially against slivers.
That's right.
But, Stomping Ground turn 1. Maybe we will see a Sunning Salt. Jim, really a big fan of these Serum Vision plays.
Yeah. It's
a good card.
Well, it's the best cantrip in the format.
Yeah.
Given that the other two have been banned, Ponder and Preordain.
Yeah, and Brainstorm obviously not legal in Modern.
Oh, yes.
What a shame. Is it
It's for the best.
actually printed in Modern or
No.
No? Okay.
Absolutely not.
So 7th ed is not just slightly under.
I think 8th ed was the cutoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was there 7th edition Brainstorm? I don't know.
I think there's a very close Brainstorm. There is one that looks rather new. So, cracking a fetch and fetching.
Is this a Tarmogoyf turn 2?
I think it might be. I feel like you do have to fetch green mana here, so Breeding Pool is right, because he's got the mountain in hand. I believe I saw a Shockland, or maybe it was that Scalding Tarn that he drew. Wizards, please reprint fetches, so I can actually get into Modern without having to sell my kidney. Do you
I
remand
suspect
this?
your wish will come true. Absolutely. I don't think he has it.
With the new double block set, I think Wizards has got some interesting tricks up their sleeves.
Yeah. Yeah, that was announced yesterday, as of this recording, so...
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be the talk of the town, the talk of the
We
Magic
have
community for a while.
2 blocks from now on, and
Yeah.
I really like that as just a new means of playing
It's
Magic.
definitely good for experienced players, but the big question is whether it's going to be too noob unfriendly, as it were. What have we got here?
Ooh, Vendilion Click.
I thought he might have been threadsing that Tarmogoyf, but no. So what have we got?
Vendilion Click's pretty good here because you get to see his whole hand and take the best piece. It's like a Thoughtseize on a stick.
The big question is can it trade with that Goyf at the moment? I think it can.
Yes, because Goyf is a 2/3.
Yes.
So he can kill that Goyf if nothing hits it.
So there's a twin, a cryptic, and something else.
Taking the cryptic, I think that's a Snapcaster Mage?
It might have been a spell snare, I'm not sure.
Okay. But that was a pretty good Click there. The downside to Click is they do get to redraw to replace that card.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's beneficial, sometimes it's not. I mean...
So here comes the attack into Vendilion Click. So what does that mean? Oh, just trades. So
okay.
I think he was... Well, I think that attack was not very good, don't you? You should have at least played the mountain before combat to kind of put him on edge.
I think you play the mountain, before combat, and if you've got an Electrolyze in hand, then you just buff your Goyf and win that trade.
Yes. Yeah, so there was a Snapcaster that was his last card, and he's cashed it in for the Serum Visions.
Seems like Jim is stuck on, just doesn't have anything in hand. But if he does hit another mountain, then every single spell he casts is live in terms of...
Twin.
Twin can tap that Snapcaster Mage and recast another spell, and possibly get in for 2 damage as well.
I like the old Twin on Snapcaster play.
Yeah.
Although it wouldn't be very good right now.
No, there's a lot of nothing in his graveyard, but it is one way of getting there if you have to.
I think Matt is in a fairly comfortable position here. I think he has an Electrolyze, so...
He's got all the mana he needs, and I agree. If he's got an Electrolyze, things start looking even better for him. Okay.
He's not under any real pressure here.
Oh, so. No, and it looks like he just drew that Scapeshift.
He has no reason to play any of his spells here.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Matt is running a lot more basic lands and sort of filter lands over the shocks, just to...
I got no idea.
Maybe price down the deck a bit, or...
I think he had all the cards for it.
Okay.
He didn't brew it, a personalised version, so I think it's a fairly standard build.
Once again, offending your sensibilities as a brewer.
See, I think...
Pestamite's dangerous.
So here, if Matt has Electrolyze, he must cast it right away, I think.
Targeting that, and it doesn't seem like he's gotten any colours out of it, so...
Even if he's got Izzet Charm, he has to kill that Pestamite. Because he loses to Dispel now. I suppose he would lose to Dispel anyway.
Jim needs the... Okay, Jim does have the extra land. Alright. So you can go for it, and try and hit that Dispel. Try and hit a Swan Song or something.
So does it... It looks like to me he might just be going for it.
Yep.
And I do believe Matt has the Izzet Charm to put a stop to the combo.
Yeah, and you definitely...
So unless
you definitely deal 2 damage here.
Unless Jim has a Spell Pierce or some other thing like that. He's not going to get to win here.
Okay, so Jim not cracking in response either. This is interesting. And the play here is definitely to...
It looks like...
to charm and kill that.
Yeah, it looks like he was going for it because he was afraid of...
Hold up.
Oh, did he counter and not...
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, he should definitely have dealt 2 damage.
Yeah, you have to kill that Pestamite because it shuts down the combo.
Yes.
And it 2 for 1.
It might be elementary because I think he might just be going off here anyway. So
that's true, but you never want to shortfall yourself. You always want to...
2 for 1 is typically better than 1 for 1.
Yeah. And I mean, if you mess up the combo and don't have enough lands or creatures or enough mountains or however it has to play out, Jim could just draw another one out and win. So that's something you've got to be concerned about playing against this deck.
I think what's happened is Tizzle's not even thinking about it because he's got the combo.
That's fair.
If Jim had a counter spell for 1 mana, he would have played it. So
yeah, I mean, you're not expecting to.
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay. So is this where you electrolyze now? And Jim stepped out, and I mean...
Yeah, if you've got electrolyze, you win more slam that bastard.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't Scapeshift here and go off, then I think you do just have to.
He's on 6 mana, 6 lands.
Yeah.
I assume Jim is on 18 or less. Okay, so that's a tell. He's playing an untapped shock. Oh, and he's not going off. Okay.
Oh, okay. So what are we looking at? Maybe Cryptic Command, or...
He does have Flooded Grove, so he has plenty of blue mana. Yeah, I think
if you're not winning, you do actually need to... Is it Charm?
The only thing to think of is that Jim is on greater than 18 life, assuming Matt has Scapeshift.
I thought he took a shock to start off with, though, and he's cracked 2 fetches, so he would have to be on at least 18.
Maybe he doesn't have Scapeshift.
Okay.
Well, Matt's clearly up to something because he played an untapped shock, so we're about to find out.
Quicken Scapeshift?
I would tip my hat to him.
Would that make you feel better as a brewer?
Oh yeah, well, absolutely.
I just love Quicken as a card.
I think there was someone playing Quickens in the Scapeshift deck.
It's
no, there was Storm. I saw Storm playing with Quickens.
Okay.
Mm.
I feel like it's a good card to counter Storm with, if you are playing Storm.
So here we're having an untapped shock off at the moment because Jim has just played an untapped Steam Vent, so I wonder if they're just bluffing each other with these untapped lands.
I think you have to play this Electrolyze here.
Yeah, so because Matt was not put under any great pressure to begin with, he's able to still bide his time, but I think his life total is probably getting precarious now.
Yeah, I do think you want to Electrolyze that Snapcaster and that Pestamite if you've got it, but I don't see why you wouldn't have Is It Charmed the Pestamite.
Yeah, that seems like a misplay.
That seems like an unfortunate misplay on Matt's behalf, and if it is as you say that he just decided to play this deck, sometimes it happens. You don't know what you want to play.
Oh, Baloth.
Oh, okay. That could be bad for...
If that puts him above 18... Well, I guess Matt's about to hit 8 mana, so it doesn't really change the combo math. Because 8 mana obviously equates to 36 damage, I think. Whereas 7 mana is only 18.
Oh, because you can get 2 Valakuts,
Yeah.
of course. Cryptic Command, draw... They're both playing with the same sleeves, which really throws me off when I'm trying to commentate on this, just because it looks like they might accidentally draw from their opponent's deck.
What's Matt up to? Yeah, he's kind of slow rolling the commentary team here.
Come on,
Surely
Matt.
he's got the combo.
What have you got? Looks like he's going to go off here. Okay.
Well, can he with 7 land? And oh no, because he did counter the Baloth. Is he going to get there this time? His opponent only has 2 mana.
Scapeshift.
How did he not go off the previous turn? I don't understand.
He didn't have Scapeshift in hand,
So
or
he just drew it off the cryptic, I guess.
it's possible. Is it Charm? Could just pay the 2 mana.
So you see, Jim is going to make force Matt to actually kill him, I think, and not just scoop him up.
Oh no, I agree, and you always should. I think in any deck where someone is storming off, someone like in Legacy, if they get the Infernal Tutor, you don't just scoop.
Against Storm, sometimes I'll scoop it up because the inevitability.
Sure, but Storm in Legacy is pretty quick.
Oh no, I'm talking about Storm here in Modern.
Oh, in Storm in Modern, that's
they get on a
whole
roll,
different kettle of fish.
I don't give my opponent the pleasure of goldfishing to 100 damage with Grab Shot. So yeah, 1-1. Game 3.
Do you know, I like to make my opponents play it out just because oftentimes they either don't know the deck or they might whiff. Like Storm, there's a critical mass where Storm won't whiff, but Storm can still whiff if you only have one Goblin Electromancer in play and one Pyromaster's Ascension.
Usually an active Ascension is game, assuming they have enough rituals.
Usually, but they need something like Manamorphose as well to capitalize on that active Ascension, give them the blue mana, and then go into other things. Just having rituals is not good enough because you need the draw power as well. Something I do like though is if you have an active ritual, Pass in Flames has 2 triggers, and you can respond by casting all your instant speed spells and cracking up the storm count.
Yeah.
And for example, if Manamorphose is in your graveyard, you can cast a bunch of those, still get the double triggers, draw some more instant speed spells such as Thought Scour yourself, get another 3 cards in the graveyard.
Yeah, that's pretty cute.
And go off even harder. It's like you're obviously going to win at that point in time, but it's something you can do just to get there if you have to. Like occasionally it might be relevant.
Yeah. So I don't know if they've altered their sideboard plans here.
Doesn't look like it. They seem to be going straight into things, which is interesting because if I'm GM, I probably go to my sideboard just to threaten my opponent with more stuff.
Yeah.
Because
the old pro trick is to just take your sideboard
15 cards in and
shuffle it in. And then just
we've talked about that a lot, and I believe it's a favourite method of sideboarding from
honestly,
one David Brocci.
Yeah, does he? I could not be bothered doing that. I'm sorry.
I can't either, but I understand why they do it, and I think, especially in the case of Tarmo Twin, it's probably something you want to do with such a split personality on the deck.
Yeah.
You can just throw your opponent off by sideboarding out the whole combo, sideboarding in more counter spells, or sideboarding out your whole tempo and sideboarding in more counter spells. And
yeah, I agree.
It's very potent.
But you have to know
post-board,
exactly what you're taking out because you could get
of course,
you could get a warning for slow play.
Sure, you can't get a warning for slow play on sideboards, can you?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay.
If you take too long to shuffle and sideboard,
That's fair. I can understand that, but I still think like after playing the matches the first and second time, you'll have an idea of what you want to sort of put into the deck, and it just gets more and more interesting from there.
Yeah.
So I believe Jim has the play here, which.
So I guess the question is he going to have a Tarmogoyf draw again or not? Because Tarmogoyf is pretty much the only alternate game plan.
I think that's something you want. You just sort of want that.
If you don't get Goyf,
if you're on the play, you want all your Goyfs in, and if you're not, you want all your combo in.
Yeah.
I think that might be how the deck is sort of inclined to be. Yeah. Another sort of deck that comes up often, or that is sort of in a similar vein to Scapeshift in terms of reliability of combo, is this Tarmo Twin. Is Twin decks, and I think a lot of pod decks as well. They're probably the most. They're obviously unfair decks, and that's the whole point of playing them, right? You're not playing creatures,
But they're very good at playing fair.
But yeah, they play a lot of counter magic. Maybe not so much in Malira Pod or Kiki Pod, but these two decks definitely play.
So
a lot fairer.
Here's Tizzle with a mulligan and hoping to get a good 6 on the draw. So
yeah, that's always a benefit being on the draw if you have to mull.
No, sends him back. It's not the end of the world going to 5 on the draw for Scapeshift.
No, it's sort of like one dead card or one unknown card. But I don't think there's anything you don't want to draw in your deck as a Scapeshift player. Not on turn 1.
Oh dear. This is obviously the unfortunate side effect of Magic the Gathering, mulligans, and a mana flood. It's different to Hearthstone, for example, where
you get your mana every turn.
you can't get mana screwed in Hearthstone.
But that's not to say that Hearthstone doesn't have its own problems.
Yeah, no, I agree. A good game of Magic you can't beat.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you just can't draw land in your opening hand.
Yep, and it happens. And I mean, back at Hearthstone, sometimes you don't draw the cards you need. Sometimes you do draw the cards you need.
You see the drop of the head there. It's obviously a subpar 5.
I think you just have to keep it. He's got 2 lands at least. Looks like a repeal and a deal 1 damage split.
If you've got a single land, I think it's worth keeping.
Yeah, I think he's got 2 land, or possibly even 3. And he does have an Izzet Charm, and it looks like he has a fetch as well. Very deep in the tank about this.
Yeah, you've got to keep.
He's going to
keep 5 on the draw.
Yeah. I think going down to 4 against a combo deck is probably too strong. Ooh, that doesn't feel good.
What up? How do you like dem apples?
Yeah. Not a lot, because that's, not looking very good. So I thought he had a fetch, but apparently not. That might be why he's so nervous about the deck. Just because. Jim, really a fan of these turn 1, turn 2, Serum Vision,
He's done a lot of sculpting in this match.
Yeah. He likes to start off strong with these Serum Visions. But a double top.
Oh, so he's stuck on one land?
Okay. Is that an Inferno Titan?
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't look good. And we could just be...
Well, that was not much of a game, I'm afraid.
Alright. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that's all, folks, as they say.
Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt was playing Nick Chmielewski's version of the deck with that
Inferno Titan? That was an Inferno Titan, right? I did see that correctly.
Anyway, disappointing finish to that game. It was a good match up until that one.
Yeah. But please stay tuned to Full House Games and join us for round 6 for Magic and more.